Next, we're going to start making our millet salad. Now, this is a grain-based salad that can be done with any type of grain. It can be done with millet, with brown rice, with wild rice, or quinoa. And today I have selected some millet. I took a cup of dry millet, and I like to put it in a jar to rinse the grains off, and I'll give it several changes of water, and then I'll let it put in some fresh water and let it soak, usually anywhere between 3 or 4 hours, and overnight 6 to 8 hours or more. If I'm going to leave it longer than that, I'll stick it in the fridge if I get delayed and can't cook it right away. So once it's done soaking, once it's gone through that soaking period, the grains are now ready to cook. Some people will ask, do I have to soak the grains? And the answer is no. It is good to rinse the grains. It improves the flavor, and soaking improves the texture and the digestibility of the grains. So I do prefer to soak them when I can, but sometimes you're in a hurry and you can skip the soaking part. So what I'll do is dump all the grains through a sieve here and strain it out. And then I'm going to add them to my cooking pot. These will take about 25 minutes to cook all the way through. And the thing with cooking grains is that you want them to be soft and tender and not too crunchy, but not mushy either. So when you're soaking grains, you need to reduce the overall amount of water that you're adding to the cooking version. So I want to make sure that I've drained this off, and with the 1 cup of soaked grains, I'm going to use about 1 3/4 cups of water. Unless I want a real soft cooked millet for a porridge or a breakfast cereal, then I might use a little more water, like 2 to 2.5 cups of water, just depending on the end consistency. But because I'm going to use this for a grain salad, I want the grains to be intact. And part of that is the cooking, and part of that is the cooling process, which we'll show you once it's done. So I'm going to, now that my grains are in my pot, I'm just going to add a pinch of salt for a little bit of flavor. I'm going to cover that and put this on my stove, bring it up to a boil, and then I'm going to turn it down to a simmer and leave that for about 20 minutes. And one of the most important things in cooking grains is that you don't disturb the pot. That's why these glass lids are great, because you can kind of see what's going on in there. If you're tempted to lift the lid, don't. Resist that. If it's on low, the grains will be fine. You can sometimes lift it and swish it around and feel if there's still liquid in there if you want to check on them. But lifting the lid causes the steam to escape, and then the grains don't cook as well. So I want to make sure that I leave my lid on during the cooking time. And once I'm done, I turn the stove off and let the grains rest undisturbed for about 10 or 15 minutes. This helps sort of gelatinize the grains into individual grains, rather than if I scoop into the cooked grains right away, it'll be more soft and kind of mushy. It'll be more like a polenta or a porridge. So by giving them time to rest and cool down gradually, then I increase the grain's ability to separate, which we'll get to see that when we're done.